Hey, look, come here. I'm not gonna arrest you on all right? This is just for the being. Come on, officially. All right.
Warrant has been issued for South Florida rapper Kodak Black. Officials say Bill Capri, better known as Kodak Black, violated the conditions of his pre-trial release. This mugshot is from his initial arrest last year when troopers pulled him over for driving with an expired driver's license and tags and found drugs on him.
Kodak Black has been arrested. Again. At this point, it's less breaking news and more like the rap world's favorite rerun. Honestly, Netflix should just give him his own category. Crime dramas, starring Kodak Black, based on true events. But this time it's messier than ever. Trafficking, possession, and enough charges to make a defense lawyer break out in hives. The arrest reports leaked faster than a mixtape on DatPiff circa 2012, and the internet is already in full meltdown mode. Some fans are screaming, "Free Yak," while others are muttering, "Lock him up and throw away the mic." It's classic Kodak. One foot in the studio, the other in a jail cell. He's like the rap game's Houdini, constantly disappearing into custody and reappearing with a Billboard hit. Forget the Kardashians, forget love and hip-hop. Kodak's life makes their drama look like a preschool nap. And let's be clear, this isn't just a mugshot moment. This is a scandal with tentacles, stretching into his career, his fanbase, and the entire rap ecosystem. From memes to meltdowns, from courtroom drama to cultural chaos, this is about to get uglier than Blueface at a family reunion. So buckle up, because Kodak's latest trip to jail, it's the wildest season yet. Kodak Black's rap sheet is starting to look thicker than his entire discography. At this point, it's almost impossible to keep track of how many times he's been cuffed, booked, and plastered across headlines. And yet, here we are again. Another arrest, another scandal, another Kodak headline that makes you ask, does this man even own a calendar where he marks court dates? Or does he just freestyle his way through the justice system? This time, the charges are ugly: trafficking and possession. Not a parking ticket, not a noise complaint from blasting unreleased tracks at 3 a.m., but full-on charges that scream felony drama. According to leaks from law enforcement, Kodak was stopped in what was described as a routine situation that turned into anything but routine. They allegedly found drugs, cash, and enough evidence to light up TMZ like it was Christmas morning. And the internet. Oh, the internet reacted the way it always does. Instant chaos. Twitter trended with pun-free Yak within minutes. Fans scrambled to post old clips of Kodak talking about how much he had changed, editing them into ironic TikToks set to clown music. Critics pounced, saying, "Some people just don't learn." And the neutral crowd, they turned it into memes faster than you can say, "mugshot drop." The mugshot, by the way, leaked almost immediately, and it became a meme template within hours. Some fans edited him into Pokemon cards. Kodak Black, special power, jail time. Others slapped his face onto Monopoly cards. Go directly to jail. The creativity was savage, but the internet doesn't care about dignity. Kodak's mugshots are practically their own brand at this point. But beyond the jokes, there's a much darker narrative brewing. Kodak has always walked a tightrope between success and self-sabotage. He's the guy who can drop a platinum single, break streaming records, and then disappear into jail the next week like it's part of the promo plan. Some fans call him a genius, others call him a walking cautionary tale. Both sides are right. Think about it. This is the same Kodak who got pardoned by the President of the United States. Yes, Donald Trump literally gave him a golden ticket out of prison back in 2021. You'd think that kind of lifeline would inspire Kodak to stay out of trouble. But no. Fast forward to today, and he's once again headline news for trafficking and possession. It's like giving someone a free pass at life and watching them run right back into the fire. And of course, the critics are eating it up. Hip-hop forums are buzzing with posts like, "Why does this man keep fumbling his bag?" Others speculate that Kodak has an addiction to chaos, that he thrives more in headlines than in hit songs. One viral tweet read, "Kodak Black doesn't release music, he releases mugshots. Harsh, but tell me it's not true." Meanwhile, his fan base is split straight down the middle. Half of them are chanting "Free Yak" and claiming the system is out to get him. They argue that the police have had it out for Kodak since day one, painting him as a victim of targeted harassment. The other half, they're over it. They're tired of defending a man who seems to treat prison like a revolving door. One fan wrote, "We love you, Kodak, but bro, how many chances do you need?" The leaks surrounding his arrest only made things messier. Rumors spread that Kodak had been under watch for weeks, that law enforcement knew exactly where to find him. Some claim he was set up, Others insist it was sloppy behavior on his part. And then came the whispers about who else might be tied to the case. Because in hip-hop, scandals never stay isolated. And the memes, let's not underestimate the memes. TikTok was flooded with edits of Kodak's arrest set to dramatic music. Captions like, Season 12 of Kodak Black, Prison Break Reloaded. Instagram repost pages went wild with side-by-side collages of his past mugshots, joking that he's collecting them like Pokemon badges. It was cruel, it was hilarious, and it kept him trending globally. But here's the thing that makes this story truly viral. Kodak's ability to turn chaos into content. His arrests don't just end careers, they somehow fuel his relevance. Every time he goes to jail, his streaming numbers spike. Old songs climb back onto playlists. His name dominates headlines. And suddenly, people who hadn't thought about Kodak in months are back dissecting his life like it's their favorite TV show. Still, this latest arrest feels heavier. Trafficking and possession aren't charges you just laugh off with a quick Instagram live. They carry weight, serious legal consequences that could derail his career permanently. Lawyers are already being quoted in gossip blogs, hinting at significant time if convicted. It's no longer just about Kodak fumbling bags. It's about whether he'll have a bag to fumble at all. But in the grand tradition of hip-hop scandal, the story doesn't stop at the courtroom. This isn't just a Kodak problem, it's a cultural debate. Some fans see him as proof of systemic targeting, others as proof of self-destruction. Either way, the conversation has shifted from his music to his mistakes. And for better or worse, Kodak Black has once again proven that when it comes to headlines, he is undefeated. If you thought the internet meltdown over Kodak's arrest was wild, just wait until the celebrity reactions started pouring in. Because in hip-hop, nobody minds their business when there's free clout to grab. And this time, everyone from rappers to reality stars to washed-up influencers had something to say. First up, the rappers. Within minutes of Kodak's mugshot hitting timelines, the rap community split faster than Nicki and Cardi at the Met Gala. Some came to his defense, posting vague free Kodak tweets like it was their job. One big-name rapper wrote, "They stay targeting real ones. System rigged." Of course, the comments lit up with fans asking, "Bro, didn't you just snitch in your case last year?" The hypocrisy was thicker than Kodak's court file. Others weren't as sympathetic. A veteran rapper took to Instagram Live, shaking his head like a disappointed uncle. At some point, you gotta stop blaming the system and blame yourself. You rich, you famous, you got kids. Why are you still moving like this? That clip went viral instantly, sparking a debate. Was he right or just salty? Then came the comedians and meme lords. One stand-up comic went viral on TikTok with a skit. Kodak Black booking flights. Kodak Black booking mugshots. Another posted a parody news broadcast announcing Kodak's arrest as if it were a weather forecast. And in Florida today, Kodak Black has been arrested. Again, expect heavy showers of memes and scattered free yak hashtags. It was savage, but fans couldn't stop laughing. And the wildest twist? Even politicians jumped in. A Florida official posted a snarky tweet. Maybe Kodak should consider a career in law, since he spends more time in court than in the studio. That one blew up, with fans firing back about corruption and systemic racism. Suddenly, Kodak's arrest wasn't just a scandal, it was a talking point in political debates. But the biggest celebrity reaction came from, you guessed it, 50 Cent. Because if there's a messy headline and 50 Cent doesn't comment on it, did it even happen? He reposted Kodak's mugshot with the caption, "Damn Kodak, you trying to beat my record or what?" Fans lost it. The king of trolling had spoken, and his comments section turned into a war zone of jokes, clapbacks, and conspiracy theories. Meanwhile, Kodak's peers in the rap game started to get nervous. The charges, trafficking and possession, were serious enough that whispers about federal connections started circulating. And if there's one thing rappers fear, it's being tied up in someone else's legal mess. Suddenly, artists were quietly unfollowing Kodak, distancing themselves before the smoke hit their careers. Screenshots of unfollows started trending, fueling more chaos. And then, the fan wars went nuclear. Team Free Yak clashed with the critics in full digital warfare. Supporters plastered their profiles with Kodak's face, claiming he was being targeted because he's real. Opponents dragged up every reckless thing Kodak had ever done, from disrespectful comments in interviews to previous arrests, and said, "This ain't targeting. This is Kodak being Kodak. Targeting. This is Kodak being Kodak." The memes got even darker. One viral post showed Kodak's face edited onto a rotating jail door with the caption, "Welcome back, sir. Your cell is ready." Another had him photoshopped into a Netflix poster. Orange is the new black. Season Kodak. TikTok edits mashed up his mugshots through the years into a Kodak time machine. The internet wasn't just roasting him. They were archiving his downfall like it was history. Class. And let's not forget the conspiracy theories. Because no hip-hop scandal is complete without Reddit detectives connecting dots that don't exist. Some claimed Kodak was set up by the industry, pointing to his previous presidential pardon as evidence that powers that be had a grudge against him. Others swore this was part of a bigger plot to keep real rappers off the charts. One thread even suggested Jay-Z was behind it, because apparently Jay-Z gets blamed for everything these days. On the flip side, some fans cooked up theories that Kodak orchestrated this himself. Why? Clout. The idea that his team let the arrest go public to fuel a comeback arc wasn't just circulating, it was trending. Fans argued that nothing boosts streams like controversy, and Kodak knew it. And guess what? They weren't wrong. His streaming numbers were already climbing. And the public outrage? Oh, it was spicy. News outlets ran with the story, framing Kodak as both a troubled young man and a repeat offender. One headline read, "Kodak Black arrested again. When will he learn?" Another went full savage. Rapper Kodak Black. More mugshots than music. The press wasn't pulling punches, and neither were the think pieces. Some commentators used the scandal to highlight larger issues: addiction, systemic racism, the prison pipeline for young black men. Others just turned it into clickbait, dragging Kodak through the mud for cheap views. But no matter the angle, his name dominated every feed, every blog, every conversation. And the craziest part, through all the chaos, Kodak remained silent. No tweets, no Instagram lives, no official statements, just silence, which of course only made things worse. Fans filled the gap with theories, jokes, and wild speculation. The silence wasn't just golden, it was gasoline on the fire. At this point, Kodak wasn't just arrested, he was trending like a Netflix series cliffhanger. And the question hanging in the air was brutal. Would this be the scandal that finally ended his career? Or just another messy chapter in the saga of a rapper who refuses to stay out of trouble? As the dust settled from Kodak Black's latest trip to the slammer, the real question wasn't what happened, it was what happens now. Because when you've been arrested this many times, the headlines stop being shocking and start being tragic. And yet, somehow, Kodak Black still manages to turn his life into a cultural circus that keeps the world watching. The aftermath of this arrest hit harder than a DJ Khaled ad-lib. Fans, critics, and even casual observers couldn't look away. Kodak's name wasn't just trending, it was cemented into the timeline. His mugshot had already become a meme classic. His arrest report leaked in record time, and his streaming numbers were climbing like a rocket. Yes, you read that right. The worse Kodak's life got, the better his Spotify numbers looked. If that's not the most 2025 thing ever, I don't know what is. But beneath the internet noise, the consequences were serious. These weren't misdemeanor charges you could shrug off with a slap on the wrist. Trafficking and possession meant Kodak was staring down the barrel of serious time. Years, maybe even decades if prosecutors played hardball. Lawyers speculated endlessly on blogs and podcasts, some predicting he'd cut a deal, others warning this could be the one that finally clipped his career for good. And yet, in the twisted world of rap, Kodak's brand was stronger than ever. Because nothing fuels hip-hop clout like surviving chaos. In the days after his arrest, his old hits resurfaced on playlists. TikTok dancers reappeared with his tracks, and fans who hadn't touched his catalog in years suddenly acted like they'd been riding for Kodak since day one. It was a bizarre paradox. The more Kodak lost in court, the more he won in culture. Still, the reputation fallout was brutal. Mainstream media painted him as the face of wasted potential. A rapper who could have been great but couldn't escape his demons. Commentators compared him to other artists who spiraled out of control, saying, "At least DMX fought his demons while giving us classics. Kodak just gives us mugshots." The disrespect was savage, but the narrative was spreading fast. Kodak wasn't a misunderstood genius anymore. He was a punchline. And then came the family angle. Clips of Kodak's mother crying outside the courthouse hit social media, sparking sympathy waves. Fans shared them with captions like, "Mamas don't deserve this pain," But sympathy only lasted so long before trolls dragged it back into comedy. One viral post read, "Kodak mama tired of sewing free yak shirts every year." Heartless? Yes. Viral? Absolutely. The industry impact was just as messy. Labels that once invested in Kodak's star power now faced a dilemma. Keep supporting him and risk looking like enablers, or cut ties and face backlash from fans screaming, "Free yak." Rumors swirled that major brands had already pulled sponsorships, while others were waiting to see how the case played out. Behind closed doors, Kodak wasn't just fighting the law, he was fighting to keep his bag. And yet, the wildest part of all this wasn't the case, the memes, or the think pieces. It was Kodak's silence. No public statement, no cryptic Instagram captions, no freestyle from behind bars. Yet, just silence. And in that silence, the internet filled the void with speculation. Some claimed he was plotting his biggest comeback ever. Others swore he was finally done, finished, washed. Every theory turned into content, and every content cycle dragged his name deeper into the culture's bloodstream. But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. Kodak's arrest became a mirror for hip-hop itself. Fans debated whether the culture glorifies chaos too much, whether we enable rappers to self-destruct for entertainment. Think pieces dropped with titles like The Kodak Black Cycle, When Fame Becomes a Prison. Podcasts argued over whether artists like him should be celebrated or sidelined. Kodak wasn't just Kodak anymore. He was a symbol for the messiest parts of the industry. And yet, through all of this, one truth kept slapping the internet in the face. Kodak Black is impossible to cancel. You can clown him, you can criticize him, you can roast his mugshots until your thumbs cramp, but he keeps bouncing back into headlines like a broken record on repeat. The system can't silence him. The scandals can't bury him. If anything, every arrest just recharges his clout battery. By now, the public perception was split into three camps. Camp 1, the ride or dies. These are the fans screaming, "Free yak," no matter what he's accused of. To them, Kodak is the victim, the scapegoat, the realest rapper alive. They'll buy his music, wear his merch, and argue with strangers online until their accounts get suspended. Camp 2, the critics. They're over it. They see Kodak as the blueprint for wasted talent. To them, he's a cautionary tale, not a comeback story. They clown him, roast him, and demand the industry cut him off once and for all. Camp 3, the casuals. These are the spectators who don't care about Kodak's life, but love the entertainment. They don't stream his music, but they share the memes. They don't watch his interviews, but they read the headlines. To them, Kodak is less of an artist and more of a reality TV character that never runs out of seasons. And honestly, that's what keeps this saga alive. Kodak Black isn't just a rapper anymore, he's a storyline, a Netflix drama, a cultural soap opera where the plot twists are messier than anything scripted. As the days turned into weeks, one question loomed large. Would this arrest finally mark the end of Kodak's career? Or would it be just another chapter in the never-ending saga of a man who simply can't stay out of trouble? Nobody knows for sure. But one thing is certain, when Kodak Black's name pops up, the internet shows up. Every single time. And if history has taught us anything, it's this. When Kodak gets out, he'll turn even this mess into music, into memes, into money. That's the tragedy and the brilliance of it all. And there it is. Folks, the latest episode of the never-ending series called Kodak Black Can't Stay Out of Trouble. Another arrest, another mugshot, another wave of memes that will live longer than most of his probation terms. At this point, Kodak's rap career feels less like an artist's journey and more like a crossover between Law and Order and Love and Hip Hop. But now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Kodak Black a victim of the system, or is he just addicted to chaos? Is this another free yak moment? Or should the culture finally admit that Kodak's mugshots are dropping more consistently than his albums? Drop your wildest theories in the comments. I want to see debates messier than a Zeus Network reunion. And while you're at it, don't just sit there scrolling like Jay-Z ignoring drama. Smash that like button like it owes you bail money. Hit subscribe harder than Kodak hits repeat on the jailhouse intake process. And ring the notification bell like you're ringing up his lawyer at 3 a.m. Because let's face it, you don't want to miss the next scandal. And with Kodak, the next one is always around the corner. This is the rap truth, where scandals aren't news. They're entertainment, where we don't just cover drama, we dissect it, roast it, and serve it hotter than TMZ could ever dream. Stay locked in, because tomorrow's headline will make today's look like child's play. Tomorrow's headline will make today's look like child's play. Remember, in hip-hop, the music is optional, but the mess is mandatory. The rap truth, where the chaos never ends.